What crack have they been smoking at the Daily Mail? Because according to today's headline hysteria, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are still somehow getting $60 million from Netflix, despite the total PR dumpster fire that is their production history. Let me repeat that. $60 million. For what exactly? Whispers from Montecito to Manhattan say Meghan's in full panic mode, and the proof? She's allegedly begging for a seat at The View. And when I say begging, I mean clutching the hem of Whoopi Goldberg's metaphorical skirt and praying for a segment on Hot Topics. The desperation is no longer whispered. It's screaming through glossy email campaigns and failed rosé restocks.
Please make the desperate, delusional PR push end.
By mid-2023, things were already wobbling. I was among the first to say it. Netflix wanted out. And sure enough, the warning signs started blinking like a paparazzi camera outside Nobu, Malibu. Insiders, credible ones like Rob Shooter, said Meghan was hustling for new gigs, pitching docuseries, lifestyle shows, daytime talk, and even The View. The verdict from Hollywood? Raised eyebrows. Because when you're floating talk show appearances next to Whoopi while your husband is focused on fatherhood and charity work, it's clear. You're not in the power couple lane anymore. You're in the scramble for relevance.
They had one success with Netflix and a bunch of flops. As ever is a joke, and there is no strategy to be seen anywhere.
Let's talk receipts. After that reality show splash, nothing Meghan touched hit big. Pearl got scrapped, Heart of Invictus, 500,000 global viewers. Her lifestyle series, With Love Meghan, ranked 383rd in Netflix's What We Watched list. That's just barely making the top 5%, and only because most Netflix content has the shelf life of a fruit fly. The relaunch of As Ever, an email blast with pseudo-intellectual ramblings, generic affirmations, and wine. One user nailed it. You can't build a brand when you never offer the same product twice. And while the Daily Mail pushes this fantasy of a new gold mine, we know better. The Obamas had a similar soft landing, a first-look deal after their partnership fizzled. That's not triumph. That's damage control with soft lighting.
Netflix got the reality show. There has been no hit since then. None of the deals that Meghan claimed were on the slate were ever announced.
So what's next for the Duchess of Desperation? Apparently, talk shows, rosé, and maybe Thanksgiving-themed lifestyle specials. Multiple sources say a new first-look deal is coming, not a continuation of the original mega deal, but a gentler, face-saving handshake from Ted Sarandos, who remains a huge fan. The question is, fan of what exactly? Even As Ever, which she's relaunching like a pop star clinging to her sophomore album, is reportedly not a Netflix priority. And yet, the spin continues that Meghan's wine brand is the it drink of the summer. Girl, please. The memes are drinking it more than the public is. Let's talk public image, or lack thereof. Royal News Network called it, "Please make the desperate, delusional PR push end." That's the vibe now. People aren't clapping, they're cringing. Remember the Spotify breakup and the infamous grifters tag? That wasn't a slip, it was a siren. And now the Netflix PR machine is cranking out bizarre spin like Meghan's new gold mine. Honestly, the propaganda is so thick, you'd think someone in Montecito is hand-feeding lines to the tabloids. And yet, former allies stay quiet. The Daily Mail is now pushing PR. Meanwhile, no one in the top-tier royal reporting game wants to touch this. That silence? Screaming. Now let's get fiscal. Running Archewell reportedly costs $3 million a year. That's just the team, not the security, not the upkeep on the Montecito mansion, and definitely not the cost of botched brand launches. The rosé business? All over the place. The timeline's inconsistent, you couldn't buy the 2023 bottle anymore, and suddenly, boom, the 2024 blend is your new favorite accessory for al fresco lunches. Yes, really, that's a quote. But when your brand's entire strategy hinges on a seasonal wine drop that you can't consistently deliver, it's not lifestyle luxury, it's liquid panic. Seeing for clicks. The media went wild. Glossy covers, charity photo ops, a wedding that looked like a Hallmark movie with a Buckingham budget. Oprah came calling. Spotify handed over millions for a podcast that sounded like a TED Talk wrapped in a Pinterest board. But even then, beneath the coordinated neutrals and rescue dog selfies, something felt fake, overproduced, over-rehearsed. The image was flawless because it had to be. And eventually, the filters cracked, and so did the facade. We should have known when the staff turnover hit Olympic relay levels. One personal assistant, gone. Communications head, gone. Nannies, gone. Pals like Jessica Mulroney, muted. You don't just ghost your glam squad without whispers. The problem wasn't just the palace. Some say it was the mirror. Rumblings from ex-employees about diva demands, cold silence in team meetings, and PR strategies that would make Kris Jenner say, "Honey, tone it down." By 2022, even the sourdough starter at Archewell was allegedly giving up.
They're poised to sign a first look deal, which means nothing, by the way. They'd get absolutely no money.
And then came the flop era. Spotify canceled them faster than a problematic YouTuber. Their animated series Pearl axed. That $20 million podcast deal dissolved into a mess of ghostwriters and Oprah aftershocks. As Ever Wine supposedly sold out in an hour, but small batch was code for boutique-sized embarrassment. Even Target said, "We're good." Netflix reportedly rolled their eyes so hard the boardroom spun. The big Netflix exclusive documentary had one good week, then vanished, like Harry's hairline. The Obamas exited with grace. Meghan and Harry left behind a scorched streaming deal and some very confused executives. As the buzz died, so did the budget.
Getting markled has become slang, synonymous on social media as a term for a personal brand tarnished or hurt by associating with the former senior working royals.
But oh, don't cry for Montecito just yet. The Duchess has new chess pieces. Enter Tracy Robbins, wife of Paramount CEO Brian Robbins. Beyoncé concerts, Bob Marley premieres, charcuterie girl dinners with just enough press coverage. Meghan's not just networking, she's planting seeds in Malibu soil. Word is, she's eyeing a first-look deal with Paramount. Translation, they'll listen politely before ghosting. And let's not forget the silent flutters between Harry and old pals of the palace. Could a reconciliation be afoot? Or just another PR move to court sympathy, and maybe a billionaire for brand revival? But here's where the fairy dust really settles: public perception. Even the most loyal Megxit defenders are going mute. Meme accounts are savage. Flop era is now a genre. The couple's personal brand has shifted from aspirational to exhausting. Media fatigue has set in. People don't hate them, they're just over them. The magic is gone, replaced with cringe. Not even Chrissy Teigen's cookbook club can revive this PR patient. And remember when Meghan said Netflix was her business partner in global vision? That aged like a forgotten avocado in the sun.
There ain't no money. She's not got any money. And they are rip-roaring through Prince Harry's spare royalties. They are rip-roaring through his inheritance from the Queen Mother, not to mention the little nest egg from Princess Diana.
And now comes the icy finale. Murmurs, real murmurs of divergent paths. She's not folding anymore, one insider whispers. She's about to play her hand. Harry, reportedly homesick. Meghan, reportedly booking strategy brunches with everyone but her husband. The hand-holding is now stagey, the synergy shaky, and in her world, failure is just the setup for reinvention. You heard it here first. The fairy tale may not be over, but Act 3 is about to get real messy. Grab your popcorn. Don't ever do that again. But Epstein did, and that, according to Trump, is what ended everything. But who was this help, and why is Trump saying this now? It wasn't always so icy. Rewind a few years, or let's be real, decades, and Trump and Epstein were cozy. Best friends, according to people who knew them then. Yes, those are the words, best friends. They were seen together, partied together, laughed in the same rooms. The golden age of Mar-a-Lago power schmoozing. There was no bad blood, at least not publicly. Until suddenly, there was.
The only person that we know of that
Exactly.
Epstein hired who worked for Trump was a 16-year-old girl.
And that brings us to the story Trump wants out there now. According to him, the falling out happened because Epstein crossed the line by hiring someone who worked at Trump's property. He says, don't ever do that again. Epstein did. Trump threw him out, called him persona non grata. End of bromance. Now here's where it gets messy. The only person we know Epstein hired from Mar-a-Lago was Virginia Roberts, later known as Virginia Giuffre, a 16-year-old who, as the record shows, was later trafficked by Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Tara Palmieri spells that out in the transcript. The only person that we know of that Epstein hired who worked for Trump was a 16-year-old girl. Let that sink in.
The president's new explanation of his falling out with Epstein, which he really has not wanted to talk about, right? He said, oh, the reason doesn't matter. I don't want to talk about it. Now he's coming out with this that it was about hiring people who worked for him.
So Trump finally talks, but when he does, it's evasive. In one breath, it doesn't matter why we fell out. In the next, he absolutely wants us to know it was over this mysterious staffer incident. And when that narrative doesn't quite land, Trump pivots hard. Now it's a hoax, a political hit job, a drawing he didn't make featured in Epstein's infamous 50th birthday book. I don't do drawings, he says. I'm not a drawing person. Okay, then he's blaming the Biden administration. Yes, really, and James Comey. Somehow, in Trump logic, Comey and Biden are behind the Epstein files. Here's a fact to hold on to. Epstein was arrested while Trump was president. Let that marinate while we watch Trump try to rewrite the history books with a Sharpie.
He said something new. He said, well, any name in there could be a hoax.
And just when you think the plot can't twist any harder, enter Ghislaine Maxwell, currently serving 20 years for her role in Epstein's trafficking ring. Her attorney publicly asking Trump for a pardon. And Trump not exactly slamming the door shut. He says, and I quote, right now it would be inappropriate to talk about it. Not never, just not right now. Meanwhile, Maxwell's pushing for an appeal to the Supreme Court, and we learn about private meetings with the DOJ, boxes of unknown material, and yes, drones capturing footage of it all. Senator Dick Durbin is demanding answers from the Justice Department, specifically whether a pardon deal is being floated, because if you listen closely, Trump's language is laying the groundwork for something.